I think that in the resolution it's very good that they say that it's a shared responsibility, it's a shared problem also of child labor in the cocoa supply chain, and all stakeholders within the supply chain have to do something to remediate the problem. In the resolution there's a very concrete demand towards other states and regions. European Parlement proposes in trade agreements that they want legally binding measures when there's a breach against human rights. And there's even measures in case of infringement. So I think that's very valuable. However, I think there's still other stakeholders in the supply chain that need to do more in order to overcome the problem. More than 10 years ago, the industry made a promise to eliminate the worst forms of child labor. We're still waiting for that promise to be fulfilled, and we cannot wait for another 10 or even 20 years. I mean, things have to change now, because otherwise, for children, the future will not change in West Africa. So what we ask governments also is to also put in place legally binding measures, not only to other states, but also to companies, because they play a major role and they can actually change the cocoa supply chain.
The European Union is the most important importer of cocoa, and it is by far the great transformer of cocoa into chocolate. Our industry is very high on the worldwide cocoa and chocolate field. So we have a particular responsibility, not only regarding sustainability, economic sustainability of the cocoa sector, but also on the social sustainability of the cocoa sector. That's why we don't know really exactly know the extent of the child labor particularly in Africa. Figures are not reliable. However, we do know that we might have a very worrying situation. Any development on the... You came forward with a proposal for a holistic approach to child labor in cocoa fields, and I think we should use the political means to put pressure on governments of the African cocoa producers to implement the Convention number 182 of the International Labour Organization on the worst forms of child labor. Secondly, on the trade field, when we negotiate and conclude agreements with those countries, for example, on the EPAs, so-called Economic Partnership Agreements with the African countries, to put this on the table and to address this situation in order to demand from the African countries real action in order to eliminate the worst forms of child labor. Thirdly, we should address the stakeholders, the traders, importers, the producers here in Europe, in order to being more aware of the gravity of the situation. We should maybe at least study the possibility of setting up a mechanism whereby we could have a traceability of the production of cocoa products, namely chocolate, in order to have a label of child labor-free chocolate, so that consumers themselves could be responsible for addressing this very worrying situation.
yet not them at the chair. I see a my dear for me school pa I need school. Now university, number parliament.